people want to find a purpose, but first they don't look at the things that they're good at. So if you can figure out what you're good at, then you can say, you know what, damn, I like it, I love it, I might want more of it. Then you say, okay, you think the world might need this? Then if you figure out if you love this and you're good at it and the world needs it, you probably can get paid from it.
So, my name is Travis. I'm an entrepreneur, run a media company called Innerlight Media. Mm-hmm. And, I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. Obviously, me and you met over the phone before.
Yes.
A while ago. But, I really enjoy people's stories too as well. Okay. Especially stories that I feel like need to be told. Yours obviously have been told already, but it continues to need more attention.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But also something you may not know is I have a similar story to you. I've been in prison for 3 years.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I used to rob people.
Okay.
And from prison to CEO, right?
Yeah.
That's what we like to call it, right? And what we realized is the talents that we had when we was doing our criminal enterprise is the same talents that we use now, except we have integrity.
Right.
Except we are now using it for good. We didn't understand focus and direction before, but now use that same genius to better mankind instead of hurt mankind. And I think those type of transformations is part of one of my missions because, a lot of times when people go to prison, the recidivism rate is like 85%.
Oh yeah, without question.
Oh
yeah.
But when you realize that these people oftentimes more genius than the average person anyway.
Yes, without question.
We just need to utilize that in the right space, but it requires people to believe in them.
Yeah.
Just show them the path.
Without question.
Because most of the time it comes, I think it's like 80-some%. I think the number is 83%. They don't come from 2-parent households.
Right. That's right.
So our path just becomes a lot harder. So anyway, I just like highlighting these stories. Then I just want to get a chance to chop it up with you in person, man. Meet you.
I appreciate it, man. I just appreciate this. Anytime I get a chance to build with like minds and like energy, all that different type of stuff, because I know what's coming after that. I know what come with it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna attract it. We're gonna vibrate on the same thing. But like you just said, man, I think the biggest key for us transforming and us helping other people transform from just doing something negative to doing something positive is them knowing knowing what their element is, knowing what the environment is, and knowing what the energy is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we got the same energy we got now as we had towards robbing and dealing and all that different type of stuff. Same energy. But it's just redirected now into, like you said, something positive.
Yeah.
So you put that same energy in a different environment, right? And then you take that environment and understand the element that you're in, because we all have a certain element that we thrive at, right? But if we create an environment that we can thrive in with that element that we thrive at, then, the energy can be contagious.
Amen.
Man. And we can attract, or we can get on that frequency that we need to attract whatever it is that God got for us. And that's what the Prison of Prosperity or Prison of CEO is really all about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Redirecting that. And we got to help teach people, how to develop their purpose or their passion and things like that. Because we're passionate about things, man.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a good thing that like some of us kind of really can help, steer that and redirect that for people until they can, and like you said, us believe in them until they can believe in themselves enough to take the ball and run with it.
Yeah. So you come from Jersey. How did you get in the game, man? Like what made you, like what's your story, man? How did you
All right, so, I mean, I was a regular kid, man. I was a regular kid who just loved to play sports and loved to, hang out with his friends and stuff like that. And, all throughout my life, I was just a leader by nature, man. Like, I was the captain of all my sports teams, my football team, my basketball team, my baseball team. It's just like, if the kids came over to ride bikes, I would say, this is where we're gonna ride to today. You know what I mean? If we was coming to play a game today, it was like, all right, this is the game we're gonna play. It's just naturally, I just formed like Voltron. I just took the head. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, we're gonna do this. And I was disciplined because sports, they taught us discipline. Sports taught us hustle. It taught us a work ethic. It taught us to, have like team, like bonds and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Just to count on everybody and be all out and all in. So, I just took all that stuff that I had and I was good at school, like everything. It was just, I went to college to play 2 sports. I went to a small college in New Jersey called Upsala, right? And I went to play basketball and football. And here's the shortest version I could possibly give you. I took one of my bad habits with me to college. All right. So when I was a young kid, 8, 9 years old, me and my brother used to always ask our mom for 10 minutes of sleep. And that turned into me needing somebody to wake me up. And when I went to college, I didn't have anybody to wake me up. So I started to come late to class. Coming late to class allowed me to miss some of the information. Then I started to kind of start failing the class, and then I started to miss the class. So when I started to miss the class, I said, you know what? I don't want this to affect my GPA. So I dropped the classes. I dropped too many classes where I wasn't no longer a full-time student. And then I got, lost housing. I got kicked out of school, and I had to go back around the way, back into the environment that I thought I escaped, and I became a product of that environment. So I went back to the hood, hanging around everybody that did the negative stuff, where all the negative things happened and things like that, and I started selling drugs. But I took that same work ethic, that same discipline, that same hustle, I took it into something negative. So I always did things right, but I wasn't always doing the right thing. And when I did that, like, you get something now, you going, oh man, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna do that right. I'm gonna do that best. Whatever it was, if it's playing a game, you wanna beat the game. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, you feel like you gotta do that the best before you even stop. So when I picked up drugs, hey man, I started as a low-level drug dealer, hand to hand, you know what I mean? And I moved all the way up to selling weight, and I was the leader of an $8.3 million drug ring. When they wound up taking me down, I did 10 years of federal prison. And throughout that journey, I figured out what I needed to do to actually change my life and transform. It was a long, arduous process, but I took it on by storm. And I said, as this stuff is happening to me, I realized that it's going to be other people that want to do the same thing, and they're not going to know how to do it. Right. So I started to reverse engineer all the results that I ever got in my life. And I traced them back to principles. See, to live is to suffer, but to survive is to find meaning in the suffering. So what I did was I took every experience that I had that led me to this point, and I reverse engineer it to find the meaning in those experiences that led me where I was. Right. And what I did was I took all the positive and all the negative, and I studied both of them, the positive results and the negative results, so that if I had to recreate this, right? Because energy is never lost, it's just transformed from person to person, right? Yeah. Never created or destroyed unless it's acted on by outside force. So I figured I can help create that same energy on somebody else because I'm the outside force that can actually redirect it. That makes sense? Yeah, see, that's the law of thermodynamics. So when you studying, I found something I was passionate at. Let's get them, first of all, let's give the people how they discover their passion and their gift. So your gift is the thing you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. That makes sense? All right, the thing you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. So people want to find a purpose, but first they don't look at the things that they're good at. So if you can figure out what you're good at, then you can say, you know what, damn, I like it, I love it, I might want more of it. Then you say, okay, you think the world might need this? Then if you figure out if you love this and you're good at it and the world needs it, you probably can get paid from it.
Yeah, your passion is for you, your purpose is for others.
There it is. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? And once you get to the purpose, you're going to realize that you're going to get into that so much. And once you get into that, you're going to realize that this stuff ain't even for me. This is actually for, because people don't come for my fitness. They don't come for all that stuff. They actually coming for the gift. So you understand what I'm saying?
How did you discover your gifts though?
So I was just being faithful over the gift that I had, over the thing that I was good at. Yeah. So no, listen to what I'm saying. You got to be faithful over a few, and then all of a sudden, guess what? You can be master and ruler over many. So I realized that, all right, I gained weight. Remember I told you I played football and basketball?
Yeah.
When I got kicked out of school, I didn't play football and basketball no more, but I ate like I did. So I still ate like I was playing 2 sports. Now, when you're playing sports, your metabolism is running and you can eat whatever and it's going to be fuel. You know what I'm saying? Right? So that energy, which is like never lost, never created or destroyed, it's got to be repurposed. So when you moving and shaking, you need all that energy to put back in you.
Right.
But if you ain't moving no more, then it's going to be stored and housed somewhere, and I house it as fat. I got up to 285 pounds.
Ooh.
Yep.
How much are you now?
About 205.
So you...
Yeah. The energy, baby.
So how long was you in the game before you got caught up?
Yeah.
And then when you got caught up, how long did it take for you to realize that, you know what am I doing?
Word. So I sold drugs from 17 years old to 27 for 10 straight years. But look, the universe gonna give you exactly what you put in. So they had to sit me down for 10 years. By the time I came out, I was a 37-year-old man. But I had to realize quick that, listen, man, this is not me. This is not who I was meant to be. And this is not how you'll remember me. And I changed almost immediately, overnight. The minute they put the handcuffs on me, I knew I had to do something different if I wanted to get something different. Now, I had no idea how long I was going to be in prison, but I knew I was going to make the best out of that time.
So let me ask this question, and I don't want to stick too much on this, but I do got a question about that.
Okay.
Was you getting caught up a little time, or did you just go on a 10-year run, not getting caught, and then...
Yeah, I went on a 10-year run without getting caught.
Wow.
Yeah, straight like I might have.
So that means somebody snitched on you because you got.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
so I had a really big.
10-year...
I had a really big case.
Yeah.
So it's 24 people on my indictment, and you're talking about wiretaps, you're talking about tracking devices, 24-hour surveillance, 18-month surveillance where, the judge got to keep signing off on these, a lot of co-defendants, a lot of co-defendants and everything. So yes, a lot of confidential informants and things like that. Yeah. So, it makes you just think about people and, just a lot of different type of stuff. So when I came out of prison, I wasn't even on the fact that I don't even want friends no more, but now I got a whole community and I got mad family and people I just call bro and stuff like that. It's just God works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to say too much on this, but I do have something I like to hit on because, I come from the streets.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't know, especially a lot of people on the East Coast don't know, but in the Midwest, like St. Louis is always considered the top 5 most dangerous city every year. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so me coming from that environment, I always want to make sure I pinpoint the idea that the streets is for nobody.
Nobody.
You see what I'm saying?
Nobody.
I hate when people say the streets just ain't for you. No, it's not for nobody.
Nobody. Absolutely
you see what I'm
nobody.
saying?
Yeah.
We get this idea that we have to cater to the streets and all this and the other one. Really, you got to cater to your community.
Right.
That's what you cater to.
Yes.
And the community is people, and everybody have gifts and talents that they want. So when you ran into that idea, when you didn't want to be around nobody, was this like when you got out, or how did you overcome that idea that, I don't want to have friends, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, it was just like an initial thought where, you feel a certain type of way because things are happening to you. And they got this saying where they say hurt people hurt people. Yeah. Well, me keeping my gifts and my talents and my purpose away from the world wouldn't do nothing but hurt it. So I got over that really fast where I just started to get more friends in jail. You understand what I'm saying? And I started to still trust the wrong people even when I was in jail. So I wind up going to solitary confinement for an entire year because I used to leave my locker open and let the homies rock in my locker. Yeah. And then one day they came and because I always have tuna fish and food and noodles and stuff go ahead, get some. So somebody either put some work in my locker or was using my locker as a stash spot while I was there because they came and got me off the yard one day and was like, they want you on the unit. And I went to jail inside of jail. So I went to solitary confinement.
Yeah, it's a principle I go by. It doesn't matter how loyal and how much of an integrity that you have. Yeah. It don't mean that the other people is going to be loyal and have that same
without
integrity.
Question.
You know what I'm saying?
Without question.
Just running with people that just don't care about people. But man, so that experience obviously would change anybody.
Yes.
So how long did it take for you to realize, I can't, even though I don't trust these people, I have to figure out who to trust. How did you get into that?
Yeah, so when you are at loan, you get a chance to atone. So once you get at one with yourself and with the maker and the creator, then he teaches you discernment in those times. You understand what I'm saying? He teaches you how to have, watch as well as pray. So when you of the world, you don't have this connection to the creator because you believe that you're doing all this stuff. But once you realize that it's a divine presence that has, that looked out for me for 10 years, you know what I'm saying? Like that whole 10-year run, there had to be evidence of a divine presence. You understand what I'm saying? Because I was getting money on a level where, all right, you got all this stuff going on and you ain't get knocked over the head, you ain't get shot, you ain't get robbed and none of this. Like you're not that thorough. You know what I'm saying? So you get a chance to reflect on all that stuff. You like, you know what? Okay, it's something bigger going on in me here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm tough and I'm thorough, but I ain't all that. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So now you start to realize that, all right, I'm gonna use this time and I'm gonna work on me. And I start doing different spiritual practices. I start doing yoga, meditation. I started doing all different types of stuff, learning cognitive behavioral change and things like that. Just so many different type of things that I started to realize how I could meet people. And the stuff that I was using as instincts before, now I realize that it was actually science mixed with the instincts. So now I could put the text with, you know what I mean, with the natural disposition and feeling that I had, and they just created a monster.
So how did you get into physical fitness? Obviously,
I had to lose weight.
Yeah.
I got fat. Yeah. So I got fat on the street. I got up to 285 pounds. And before I went to prison, before I got knocked off, I said, this is not me. This is not who I was meant to be. This is not how you remember me. And I lost 70 pounds in 6 months. And then I developed that passion for the thing for working out and for losing weight and for getting my body in shape. And that's it. It was just something that I was like, yo, I like it, love it, want more of it. Yeah. And I went to jail and continued it. But I started to study it. I started to learn it. I started to practice it and master it. And I went and got like 7 certifications. And I came home with like 9, 10, 11. I don't even know how many it is. I got like 11 certifications now. But
if you had to pick one workout that's your favorite, what is it?
Burpees.
Burpees?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Because it reflects life. Fall down 7, get up 8. So I came home and did a burpee. I bounced back. I bounced back fast. You hit the ground hard, you bounce back. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's the properties of a seed. You know, you go down and then you got to come up. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So the burpee is my joint because it's gonna work everything. And in your head, you're gonna start talking to yourself like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I need to quit. Like, no, I need to kill this. I need to smash it. So when that stuff goes on, you got something good going on because you got challenge. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the burpee.
So you get out. What year was this when you get out?
I got 2012, June 2012.
Wow. So you got out 3 years after I did.
Yeah. Hey, man.
So tell me what happened. So you got out. What happened? Tell me how you got everything back together. How was the adjustment hard?
Uphill climb, man. Yeah. Yes, super adjustment. I went from being the leader of an $8.3 million drug ring to making $6 for 30 minutes. That was a humbling experience, but I looked at it as a paid internship. You know what I'm saying? I got real serious before I left prison with my wife now. And
so you met her before?
I knew my wife before I went to prison. We dated then. And then we went separate ways. And I just happened to go to prison, and she moved down here to North Carolina and started her life and everything like that. We made it happen, you know what I'm saying? We took a chance. And when I got out of prison, I moved straight down here. I did 6 months in a halfway house in Philly, and then I moved straight down here. I was just like, people will be chasing my ghost if I come home. They won't take me serious as a personal trainer. They're gonna think that I got some money buried somewhere or whatever it is. Like, they're not gonna give the new me a chance. And, I don't think that's fair. I didn't think that was fair. So I built a life, here that the people here had no idea who I was. It took me 5 years to start telling my story for a number of reasons, but yeah.
No, trust me, I get it, man. That was one thing I was like, yo, I started a media company. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna be telling people. Yeah. I was at a point where I was like, I'm not even gonna show my face. Yeah. I don't, Better do that. But then you start realizing, how important your story is to you and how much that actually can inspire other people.
Yes.
So what made you say, you know what, I actually do need to tell my story? What made you get to that point?
God, man. God intervenes in a lot in my life these days, man. And sometimes I'm conscious enough to know that, He has a hand on things. And I was struggling with telling it, and I would kind of like hint towards it around, in the gym. I do speeches after my gym. I do little motivational speeches and stuff like that because of the way that I actually train is totally different. And that's a whole nother story. We'll get into that. But I used to start to hint about, my past, but there was a big gap in my speeches when I talked, and people they would never put it together. But I was thinking that, sooner or later they're going to put this stuff together. Yeah. Like, well, where were you at between such and such and such and such? You know what I'm saying? And it was me and my wife, we had conversations about telling it, and, she gave me her blessings and she told me, go ahead, tell the story. But I still was like, you know what? I can't do that just yet because I had so much respect for my wife holding this whole thing down until I could get back on my feet.
You know what I learned too that helped me out, which is probably the same thing that you went through, is you realize when God is for you, nobody can be against you.
That's right.
Nobody can stop you. So you realize, you get to a point you're like, yo, my story is my story. It don't matter what I've been through.
Right.
Like, God got me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're not meant to be in my life, you're not meant to be in my life.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
So the big struggle with my story is my wife is blue. So all right, so
that's a big part of the story.
It's a big part of the story because I didn't want any backlash to come from to her. Yeah. And if she lost her income this was the same thing that helped us, supported us to build the thing that we have now, which, basically, pays for everything and stuff like that now. But that, I didn't want to get to this point and then say, okay, we don't need that anymore. Like, that type of thing. So, I struggled with it for a minute, man. We prayed on it together. She gave me her blessings. I went to my pastor. My pastor said, we got you covered, all this stuff. And I still struggled with it. But one day after church, I was driving to Sam's, just driving down the highway, man. And, I peed on myself. Like literally, I couldn't hold it no more. And I didn't look at it like, yo, what's wrong with you? You're a grown man. You can't hold your bowels or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, God is telling me I got to let it go. He's telling me you can't hold on to this stuff for long. You know what I'm saying? He said, it's out of your hands now. So I was a grown man, and here I was urinating on myself when I know I can hold it. You understand what I'm saying? So he said, nah, you can't hold this. There's something out there, there's some people out there that need to be touched and stuff like that. And boom, next thing you know, we was on Prison of Prosperity, and we had Eric Thomas on the stage, and the stuff just started to take off like a rocket ship. You know what I'm saying?
Is this Prison of Prosperity? What's that?
That was the name of my book. That was the name of my last book that came out. And when I launched it,
or something like that?
I did an event.
Okay.
When I launched it, I brought Eric Thomas in as the keynote speaker for my event to launch my book, and it was pretty dope, man. It was some dope stuff. We put 1,000 people in the arena and everything.
Didn't it?
Oh yeah. But it's a lot of ways around it. So I'm just like,
the spirit led.
I'm very resourceful.
Yeah.
So, I'm not gonna put out there how much he actually charges, but he charges a lot.
Yeah.
All right,
but you was able to get a plug.
No, we paid him what he wanted.
Oh, okay.
We paid him what he wanted, but I brought in some other people that could help me pay what he wanted.
Amen.
So listen, only $2,500 out of my pocket to get that big bag that we had to pay him. Because once we put him on the ticket, once we gave him enough to give him his down payment, then now we can promote it and make the money from the tickets. Yeah. I just used my hustle from before to make it happen. So I made it happen with $2,500 out of my pocket, which is nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just the same, like you said, like we're using the same things that we used before. Yeah. Now we're using it in the right way. Yeah. And it's all positive. We're going to make it work now. Yeah. We're redirecting it to the right place.
I'm not saying this to sound funny, but I can see you as another, so Eric Thomas does his thing.
Yes.
But you can be a very similar.
I receive it. I receive
you know what I'm saying?
That.
I'm thinking I see your cadence. Mm-hmm. I see, hearing you talking about you do your motivational speaking.
Yeah.
There's power to that, and I really genuinely think just from hearing your story and hearing your passion in this and your faith that that might be a path for you too.
Yes, sir.
I think it is.
I totally believe that. I think you're right on point. It's confirmations. I truly believe that. Thank you for that. So So here's what I do, and this is what allowed me to actually get to the point where I motivational speak. I use fitness as a way to educate, motivate, and empower people to transform their mind and body, right? So here's what I did. I created a niche in fitness, right? Where I'm able to basically teach people how to do something that they can keep forever. So the scriptures say that true transformation can't happen without a renewal of the mind. But people are trying to transform their bodies and go to gyms every day, all the time. But nobody's starting with the mind. Why wouldn't anybody ever think to lead with something that was psychological to help with the biological problems that they're having? You understand what I'm saying? So, look, the body won't go nowhere the mind don't tell it to go. So I created a space and a place, an environment, right, which would help people thrive in the place that they need to succeed. You understand what I'm saying? So what I do is I give them a challenge every single day in the form of exercise, right? And Martin Luther King says the measure of a man is not where he stands in times of challenge and controversy, but where he stands, not where he stands in times of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy, right? So you throw this challenge and your controversy at them, right? You see how they act. Now you know what you got to fix in their mind to help them get to where they're trying to get to transform. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Super powerful. But the Creator gave me this gift. He said, listen, this is what you're going to do. We're going to disguise my work as fitness. So now I can transform the whole way that fitness is approached for many years to come based off of the fact that I use straight theological principles and scientific principles to actually make a transformation last. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So you can change right now, but guess what? If you don't do it the right way, it ain't gonna last. That's why you get recidivism. You talked about that earlier, right? Yeah. 85%. Well, 85% of people that lose weight, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna gain it back. Yeah. 85% of the people who hit the lottery, matter of fact, 95% of the people who hit the lottery, they're gonna be broke in 5 years. You know why? Because they never transform their mind. They become the person to get it, receive it, to nurture it, grow it, and give it. Did that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. Now, Bruce Lipton and Robert Kiyosaki talk a lot about how poor is more of a mindset in terms of your health, in terms of your wealth, in terms of a lot of activities that we do. And if you don't transform your mind, if you don't change your thought process and where it comes, in terms of how you manifest, things in your life, then you're just gonna revert back to the same behavior as you was doing before.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's the science.
Yeah, that's facts, man. So what's the next step, man? What are you doing? Like, what's the next thing for?
I gotta take this to the world, man. Yeah. I gotta take this to the world. That means I had to take advantage of the World Wide Web, right? And I was stuck in my little box. That gym that I got there is 5,000, 6,000 square feet. And to anybody else, they would be happy, making 20 grand a month, 30 grand a month, or something like that. But when you have a gift that the world needs, then it don't sit right in your spirit, thinking that you're confined to these walls. So what I did was I took my mindset, right, and I put myself back in a box. I told myself that gym was now my new jail cell. You know what I'm saying? And then I had to go back to the mindset that I used to transfer my life in the jail cell. I used that in the box of the gym. But it wasn't happening. So COVID came, and COVID took me from the gym to that little box that I showed you right there.
Forced you to level up.
Forced me to go into isolation, into the solitary confinement, where I leveled up at one, where I had to atone and figure out how we was gonna take this to the world on that digital platform. That makes sense?
100.
Yes. So me developing the mindset to, make myself suffer. You hear what I said? Because remember in the beginning I said to live is to suffer, and to survive is to find the meaning in the suffer. And I had to find the meaning in the COVID. And then here go that word again that you said your peoples don't like, pivot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the streets taught me how to pivot.
Yeah.
Playing pick and rolls taught me how to pivot. Look, playing football on a defensive back taught me how to pivot. So pivot is a natural instinct in me now. You understand what I'm saying? So I had to take this adversity that they threw at me, this challenge that they threw at me, and said, hold on, Dr. Martin Luther King said, right? The measure of a man is not where he stands in times of, comfort and convenience, but in times of COVID. That's what he said.
Right.
He said, challenge and controversy. That's all the COVID is.
Yeah.
It's challenge and controversy. Now, how you gonna act? What you gonna do? You know what I mean? You still gonna serve the people? Because you got a duty, obligation, and responsibility to serve, right? Because this is my platform he gave me. He gave me a gift. And he said, if you be faithful over this gift, then I'm going to take your platform and I'm going to extend it. I'm going to make it bigger. And then I meet people like you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I meet people like James because I create value in them. Like, you know, I poured into James for 2 years. You understand what I'm saying? And he like, yo, I got something I want to do, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's just, that's just how it go. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then it becomes symbiotic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And one hand wash the other and they both wash the face. That's just how I live my life now.
Yeah, no, you always, whenever you're on that path that God puts you on, you're going to meet people that's going to continue to extend that because it's all about the glory that we're giving him.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's about extending that purpose, the gifts.
That's right.
The prowess, and everything that we're here to do. And dude, like I absolutely love your platform. I want to see this blow up as big as possible, man. I know you have the gifts, you have the talent, you have the faith. And I just want to be a part of that journey, man. So, man,
thank you,
man,
my brother.
Appreciate you, man, for allowing me to come in your abode and to interview you, man. This is powerful, man. I can't wait to see more of what you're doing. If I can be a part of that, man, let me know. I can help, man.
I'm looking forward to it, brother. Yes, one more time. Thank you.
All right, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. Talk to you guys later, man. Peace. Just wrapped up a dope meeting with Coach Lynch. Hope you guys like that. You know, it's always amazing when you meet people that have took a very bad situation and then turn it into a good situation. A lot of times we really forget that success, the idea of success is about overcoming. Like, right? You have to overcome something in order to be successful. And it's just a lot of times when people have very bad situations and they overcome it, it usually turns out to be very prosperous for them in the end. So never look at like a bad situation, a down situation as the end. Actually look at it kind of like the beginning of a fruitful future for you. And it's always very powerful when you're actually getting the real story from the real people. Coach Lynch, powerful dude, love his program, love what he got going on. He's from Jersey, did 10 years in the feds for drugs, moving millions of dollars. And yeah, man, he really turned his story around. Now he's, married, got a dope program going on, lives in Greensboro, North Carolina now. And yeah, just amazing brother. I'm glad I was able to connect with him, and I'm glad I can call this man a friend. He's somebody I look up to, somebody I think that I could definitely continue to bounce ideas around and learn from and just continue to circle, continue to network, continue to really build with. So yeah, always build your circle, right? Circle with positive people that understand the mission that you're on and is on a similar path, and y'all grow. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, shout out.